To be afraid of natures of the such comes from that which I should be afraid of in that oneself. To be observant introspectively is to be familiar, to know context and thought. To be familiar, is perhaps to understand why you are not afraid, because you are not an enemy. The contextual experience between the spiritual science, I interpret through the sentient and psychological. At that, because it came from something sentient, there is no less a reason one be taken seriously, especially an expression of anger or wish for distance. Nonetheless, there is a question of context between that which expresses that I ask. There was, I think, a sentiment towards connections in what up until a confluence of consciousness implied an almost arcane mastery of movement through the receptive and projective power. This way and an encompassing of all realities was to be culture in a way an original one was described as so. Something diversely and perceptually in response did not enable the state of nature to be an obligatory constant. Many have been the recipient of forceful and vindictive measures of their nature on behalf of a myopia. The displacement of psychologies comes in the moments of their strain and consequent adaptation. Culture no longer existed to be multilateral nor peripherally engaged, but there was anger at a function not coming to call. Thus an intersection on the psychological history of late is defined. That culture's functions now exist in relative isolations from themselves as minds and concerned recipients. This could be described as an example of a culture's confluence of consciousness and motion. It's situated amidst itself but is not connected for the same reasons, such as time. At the public level, this situating is consequential on a rather societal level as well, as these shifts were after all expressive of that society's witnessing of the way it appears as though undercomprehensive compared to what was otherwise relative existences and qualities of life and mind. Entire aspects of inter-human relatability recessed out of memory and awareness, at least immediately. Entire knowledge base is out of sight. Confluence leaves memory receding out of immediate awareness, and paradigm of that psyche and shifting. In public context and interpersonal life this hasn't left us with the best of ourselves to see often. Debate doesn't possess substance, and it seems that relational interactions barely possess an element of itself for human sake. Although the context of connection nonetheless important in any other. Abilities to address previous nuances, not second nature for the rabble-rousing. For us, privately, it's perhaps a matter of surfacing like a memory does. We are a peoples with compulsiveness towards that when we can recognize ourselves as able, and we do recognize that when shown, but we may need time to arrive there again.